For the past 2 years, employees in a Long Island City workshop have been making history, or remaking it, rather. A team of 30 people have been tasked with recreating the original frame that housed what is widely believed to be the most important painting in American art history.
When someone comes to the Met, the number one painting they look for is this painting. This is the icon. This is the important one. And the reason we didn't tackle it earlier is that we didn't know what the original frame looked like.
But 2 years ago came the phone call Wilner had waited 20 years for. Someone had found a photograph of George Washington crossing the Delaware in its original frame.
I had to put the phone down. I mean, it felt like, we're going to do it. It was just too much. It was just too much to take in because we spent so much time trying to think it through. And nothing was satisfactory. We never could get around it. How do you create a frame that's 22 feet long on the inside of it that has any kind of resonance with the painting inside? What do you do? I mean, what do you choose? And there was no solution. There was nothing that made sense until this was found.
Equipped with the results of arduous research conducted by the Met, as well as blown-up photographs of the original frame, Wilner and his employees got to work.
In terms of the materials, we carved the crest. That's all carved. We carved the shields of the frame and the stars on the cove, but the rest of the frame is actually cast ornament. And it was decided to do it that way because that's what it would have been done in the 19th century. We first started out with a model, which we brought over to the Met, and they examined us in detail. And then we built a larger scale model. So we went through a few iterations before we felt comfortable that it was time to express it on its actual scale. This is, I think, what separates this frame from any other frame done in American art that I know about, that anyone knows about. You've got gunpowder, and you've got cannon, and you've got cannonballs, muskets, and bayonets, and spears, and a flag. And it's wonderful saying about Washington, the first in war, first in peace, and first in the hearts of his countrymen. This is all part of the object. The painting and frame are one.
I personally have never seen anything else quite like it. It's just been a fabulous thing being a part of working on this. I feel like we're doing something very important.
I make all the pieces, I join together, I make it, make design, make the sample, the corner, the stay over here.
We wanted to find a way to gusset both, the corner together, to join the two sides, but at the same time support these shields. So we came up with some metalwork that sort of accomplishes both things at the same time.
The lighting in the old days, right, was candlelight. And then later in the 19th century became oil lamps. But really it was candlelight. So the frames were incredibly large and gilded in order to throw light back onto the pictures so people could enjoy them in the evening. Miriam, show them how thin that is. They could just flutter away. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? In order for gold to be reflective, you have to actually burnish the surface of the gold. It's almost like they created a sculpture with this frame. This painting, I think, will go from being an icon, but always looked at for the last 100 years as a two-dimensional, almost poster-like representation, to a painting with perspective, with depth, with three-dimensionality, with action. I think the frame is going to complete it in a way that it hasn't looked for since 1860.